Hello and welcome back. It's been a while since I last uploaded, and I know this is in English. I'm trying to shift to English, and also my type of content. I'm trying to get away from gaming and mostly go to developing, because it's a hobby I have. Talking about developing, you might have seen this is not vanilla Minecraft. Most definitely not. What am I standing on? Concrete. Uh, yeah, I've been messing with mods lately, and the mod I've been mostly messing with is Computercraft, CCTweaked. So, having actually learned this mod over 2 years, I thought, you know what? How about you take all the stuff at your, all the tools at your in hand and make an OS, cause you see CraftOS on other websites for CCTweaked. There's a bunch of OSs, so with all my knowledge, what could go wrong? I mean, I've already made a lot of different stuff, and this is my next one. So yeah, I'm gonna take you on an adventure how I made my own little OS. Probably gonna call it RedOS. If it changes, that's on future me, I guess. Okay, I've turned off the shaders because of the brightness in the starter clip. So Also, I want to add on that if I sound a bit weird, that is because first up, time has gone by. Second up, I'm a bit sick, so doing my best. Anyways, continue on with the video. Don't mind me. Okay, yeah, I'm now here. So, to make an OS, first you might wanna, have a computer. Now these ones are used for my GPS system, but this one I've just created this one. So, this is a blank computer, nothing on it. As you might see, there is already something here. It's called CraftOS, and it is a basic. It will always start up. I can't remove this, but I can put my own over it. Now this is the startup from CraftOS, and to make an OS, you first have to make a startup. Like, for example, here, this is my startup. It writes welcome back, tells me what peripherals I have, and then tries to tell me something that it cuts off the screen. Because it's pretty basic and doesn't check for that. Now here, I want to make a startup. I'm going to probably replace that with stuff I'm going to program on an actual code editor, because this is pretty basic and doesn't look nice or give you a lot of features. So let's make it that it on startup prints hello. We say print hello, and that's it. We save it, we reboot, and now we've got a little hello message here. Pretty basic and not complicated, I guess. Startup will always start up. You don't have to do anything for that. No settings, no configurations. It just automatically moves it to startup. And I guess we'll see us in the code editor again. Okay, now we're here in the code editor for our startup file. Now this isn't the startup file we actually worked with. I've gone ahead and created a new one in a RedOS folder, because the one on the computer right now, I don't know. It would be nicer to have it as a generic file. So, what do we want to do? I'm quickly gonna go. So what do I want it to do? Whenever it starts up, it should first up tell us a big RedOS or something. Just to, get clear that you're right now using RedOS. So, let's do that. I'm really quickly just gonna set text colors dot red. Now it does tell me that these don't exist, but it's just goofing around. Red. Now I like to multicolor my stuff. Red term.set set text color. I'm a bit colors.use yellow, and print OS. Oh wait, this would put us in a new line, so we're gonna use term.write. And yeah, this should be the first little attempt. So just this, yes, yes. Reboot. Now it says RedOS. Yeah, this is definitely gonna become better. So what I may do is really quickly open up another file of mine and try and incorporate it. So give me a second. I really quickly have gotten another library of mine. It's the TD Game Lib, a two-dimensional game library that allows me to do rendering stuff. I have compacted it down into the graphic lib to make it a bit less space consuming, but you know, it's still pretty big, but you need that. So now that we have the graphic lib, that is this one, let me really quick just copy it over into a little graphic lib. Now I don't want this to just hang around on the computer. It should be in a folder. A folder for example, libs. Just like this. ROS libs. To, you know, make sure that this is the libraries of RedOS. So, but here's another problem. How do I get this folder onto this computer? And you've seen I've already built up this, so let me get a disk. Let's make it red, fitting the RedOS theme. Change the direction to the disk, and now the idea is that I put everything on the disk with the folder or whatnot, and it's going to perfectly copy over the state of the disk onto the computer. Which, you know, like you're installing an OS. You have like an external drive and it installs it on the computer. So to do this, we're gonna have to edit this little part, and I've also brought in the documentation, because, you know, you keep on forgetting some stuff and it's important to remember. So now it's time to program that. Okay, I'm back, and I've really quickly programmed this. All this is gonna do is, it's gonna give us the mount path that is, like, not the exact mount path, but the path, the first, like, directory, which, if it's a disk, it'll say disk something and then slash disk1, disk0, disk, or just disk. But if, as soon as I find a disk in the mount path string, I'm going to do this and say, hey, I'm on a disk. Otherwise, I'm presuming I'm on the computer, or not presuming, assuming. Definitely gonna cut this out. And when I'm on a computer, I'm gonna say on a computer. Now let's run this really quickly. Let's put it on the disk, and let's reboot. On disk. Now let's move it from disk to delete startup and rerun that on computer. So now it knows where is it. Is it on the disk or is it on the computer? You know what? I'm really quickly gonna set a label for this disk so I don't lose it. As just RedOS disk. I'm just gonna call it this. So now it has RedOS disk. So yeah, this is all I've done. And I guess I'm going to now try and write a basic installer program. I'm gonna feel happy about that one. Okay, first for that I'm gonna real quick delete the startup from this one and put it back on the disk. Or just to, you know, get the stuff on there. And now I am going to make a directory, and that is our ROS libs. Change directions to ROS libs and put the graphics library in there. And I think I just had a voice crack. Boy, so now that's in there, it's time to get back to coding. Okay, so I've just been goofing around a bit. So I wanted to not say on disk, but actually now say this is the RedOS installer. What would you like to do? Now, when it's on the computer, I'm probably gonna have a separate module / program to deinstall it from there. But when it's on the disk, I want it to be as plain as possible, and just tell you, hey, do you want to install, deinstall, whatnot. Now for this I'm probably also gonna make a function real quick, and that is arrow read. It's gonna be so basic, and that is just gonna be string, or no, arrow. It's gonna be pretty basic, so I guess I'm now gonna program this in, again with music under it and sped up. I'm back, and yeah, we've got this little function now. It's right now marked because I don't use it, and that's Visual Code Studio's way of telling you, hey, this function is obsolete, you do not need it. Also, I should save, because, you know, always good. So now, to know what the user can do, we're just gonna really quickly print out the options. So install, installs the system. I am going to later also add like deinstalls the system, and luckily for me there's a spell checker. Distills. Okay, no, spell checker failed me. I'm just gonna keep it like this unless somebody corrects me. Probably somebody in the comments or something, if they're even active. So, should there be any other function? I guess we can say other does nothing. Good. And now we just local selected equals arrow read with, of course, our arrow. I'm not going to enter char, because char is what char's gonna do. Did I do something? What char's gonna do is do any character you type will be replaced with char. So unless I don't give it, like if I don't enter char, it knows, okay, just take what the user put there down. Okay, let's also print selected, so it knows what I selected. And I'm going to use one last thing, is that you actually don't have to capitalize this. I can just do string.lower selected and set the output selected to the output of that. So now selected is a lowercase letter always, no matter what you do. And now I just print selected. Okay, time for a test run. I am going to have though put it on here, so let me real quick just yes, and reboot. Ah, there we go. This is the RedOS installer. What would you like to do? Okay, this cut off text pretty annoying. Also, we might want to highlight some stuff. So term dot and one thing I just noticed is it also has like this ugly startup message from CraftOS. Nothing against CraftOS, but you kind of don't notice when does the RedOS installer begin and when does it stop. So it's a bit irritating. So let's get rid of this too by instantly going term.clear and then term.set cursor pos to 1 to the first position to always write from the first position. Now term.set text color to change the color. Colors dot what color should be the installer. Let's not make it red because red kind of always triggers this, oh no, I did something wrong. Let's make it blue. I know, for RedOS, pretty uncommon, but you know, gotta pop out. Hopefully I don't keep blowing into my microphone because that makes bad noises. I don't have noise cancelling. That's a bit sad, but you know, I'll make it work. And now let's just set text color back to white. And colors dot white. Let's see that in action. This is gonna be annoying. I might actually end up adding another tab to my file explorer where I'm just like in this disk already, you know. So time to reboot. So it's rebooting from disk and looks a lot easier to read. This is the RedOS installer. What would you like to do? I installs the system, D deinstalls the system, other does nothing. So if I now say I, you know it's gonna type small I, D, small d, big I, small I, or lowercase, but you know, and small d. Good. So now it's time to actually make it install the system if you print I. So to see if you printed I can just say selected equals lowercase I, because everything will be lowercase due to this. And if it did that, I'm just going to, let me real quick also add an else block for later, but I'm just going to kind of actually, how am I going to do that? How am I going to perfectly copy the state of the disk? Because you know, there is a change direction to disk. There is another thing on here, this. So what I'm probably gonna have to do is get the names of everything and just copy it over. So how we can do that is a file list. I'm just gonna make a file list. fs.list. And now what is important is I actually have to get the disk where I'm on. But funny enough, I already did that. So I can just go mount path. Because mount path is literally the path of the disk that the startup file is on. Now this is not going to work if you run this in a background, but because this is startup, this won't be a background process. This will always be a foreground process, meaning, or foreground, is that even a word? I don't know. Meaning that this will always work. Like if it's a background process, it won't have the shell API pre-installed. Like if it's a multi-shell launch thing, it won't have the shell program in its environment, like in its scope, and it just can't execute this because it doesn't know what shell is. But that is solved. So now that we have a file list, I am going to, for each item in the file list, for underscore I in pass file list, because this is actually a bit different. Do and now I'm probably gonna just do shell.run because it's easier to just copy it like that. Or actually, let's do it with copy. Copy. So first, I'm actually gonna delete something, and that is from the original system. The file we're right now copying, I'm going to delete it from the original system. So let's call it file so I don't get confused. File. Then fs.copy to say, hey, copy this. We're going to use mount path dot file to just file. This is it. Ooh, actually, I'm right now noticing something. But I might actually add this later. There's a little problem that if I, for example, put the startup file in another file, what it's gonna do is it will just look at the disk and not go into the actual directory of the startup file. But that might be a problem for later to fix, so let's just continue on. I'm trying to make this as watchable as possible, even with my bad equipment. And now what I want to do is also print what I did. So what I'm going to do is say copied colon dot mount path file to file. Now, file in this case is the name of a file on the file list, and this just tells me this, that this just tells me the same file but on the path where it originates from. You're gonna see it in action. Also, for show purposes, I'm going to add a sleep for 0.1 seconds to get a little effect. So now I'm going to copy over my startup and reboot. And there's a little problem. File a string value. To call local file a string. Huh? What is? Oh, I see. I forgot a dot. Yeah, happens. So I'm gonna enter I, and if we look, reboot. Okay, oh, it reboots from the disk still, so what I'm actually gonna have to do is also disk.e, so I'm probably gonna have to, wait, how do I do this? I know, just disk.eject, maybe? Let's just hope this works. I have no idea if this could work. Update it on the disk. Start up. And reboot. Install. Yep, bad argument. String expected gotten away. Oh, I'm gonna have to tell which side the disk is on. I mean, the easiest solution would just be ejecting every single side, but I might actually gonna have to find out in what place the disk is. But I might do that in the next episode, because the video is already getting pretty long and I don't want to keep you here all day. So, if we now just take this out and reboot it, it's gonna say on computer and do nothing else. Oh right, the else block over here. I still haven't programmed that. I am going to program that real quick. Okay, bye. I'm just gonna say okay, bye. Okay, time to really quickly do this. Wait, what? Oh, I haven't uploaded the actual library on the disk, so let me reboot real quick. So now it says okay, bye. One thing I also want to check is ROS libs. Yep, the graphic library is here, so I don't actually have to go through each file and manually copy it. But I might actually do that again, so it tells you that it copied it over, because right now, when you reboot, all it does is, when you hit install, it just says disk ROS libs to ROS libs, so you have no idea that this is a file. It should tell you copied each file from that file, so you know, a bit more representative. But we're gonna do that in the next episode. See you later and have a good day. Now I do want to say that during this recording I was ill. Another thing is the loud click sounds were caused by a problem with my recording software having an option enabled that plays the click sounds each time I click, which sounds kinda bad on the recording. I have turned that off now, but it's still in the episode. I won't re-record the entire thing. Right now you should see more videos, probably my older ones, but maybe give them a try. Maybe you do like the old one me more.